Democrats, you were right. With all this shit going on in the news and the stock market and this financial war with China, you're right. I'm really starting to regret my vote for voting for Donald Trump.
Am I the only person getting a lot of personal gratification lately from all of the MAGA people who are trying to justify how we can definitely produce all the things that China produces in the United States, and then they list out all of these things, which is how they can produce them. And it's things like, well, the US government will subsidize factories, or the US government will actually use the federal budget to actually create factories. And then they're going to regulate overconsumption, and they're going to regulate how much these factories produce, which will ensure that we don't have profit loss. And then they're going to basically incentivize citizens, mainly young people, to work in these jobs for the collective good of the country. You're describing communism.
As MAGA supporters rallied around Trump's promise to put America first, many embraced the bold stance of the high tariffs on China and other nations. He felt patriotic, like standing up for American workers and industry. But now, as grocery prices hit, appliances cost more, and once affordable items become luxuries, some are feeling the sting of the very policies they once cheered. Tariffs, after all, are taxes, just hidden ones, and while they were meant to punish foreign manufacturers, they have also driven up prices at home. The irony, right, is everyday Americans, especially those in rural and working class communities, the MAGA base, who are hit hardest. Now, some voters are waking up to a bitter truth. In trying to protect the economy, they might have voted against their own wallet. And the question lingers, was the trade war worth the cost of the whole bread?
This is what you voted for. He told you many times that he was going to implement these tariffs throughout his campaign. He campaigned on it. But you voted for him because you wanted to fuck other people over. And once it fucked you over, then you got upset. And now you want to have Democrats in office. It's funny how that works, isn't it? You're okay with other people being fucked over, but once it's you, it's a tragedy. What about all the people that were fucked over and sent to El Salvador illegally? Do you care about them? Of course not. You only care because now you can't retire. I'm not going to break bread with people who only have changed sides because they have a personal interest now. They're not good allies. It does suck for the people whose retirements were drained that did not vote for this. I do feel bad for them. But for the rest of you that jumped into the ocean with your clothes on and now are complaining that you're wet,
at first, the pitch sounded powerful. We will impose tariff on imported goods. Companies will bring their factories back home, and America will rise again as the industrial giant it once was. But almost a decade later, many of those same voters are asking a painful question: was it really worth it voting for Republican every other term? Today, those high tariffs haven't brought back the wave of jobs that were promised, but they have made everyday goods more expensive, from basic household items to farm equipment, groceries to construction materials. Prices have soared, and now it's not just inflation or supply chains. Tariffs work like a tax. They don't just hurt foreign exporters, they make things more expensive for you and me.
I was told that if I voted for Donald Trump, he was going to take my rights away. So that's literally why I voted for him. But I still have my license and I still have all of my rights. So I'm really wondering when that happens. Is that going to happen today? Does it happen on day 3? Is he going to be developing some department of taking women's rights away? Anyway, I'm really disappointed because I still have all my rights.
This was the precise moment I no longer was a Democrat.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay.
That was the precise moment that I knew I was leaving the Democratic Party. Because I was a 2-time bone cancer survivor. I voted for Obama-Biden based on Obamacare. And when it was implemented in 2010, I ended up losing my insurance. I went from an insurance plan that was $185 a month with a $1,000 deductible to that policy being canceled because it no longer met the requirements of Obamacare. And I was left with the cheapest option being $1,200 a month, $6,000 deductible. $185 a month, $1,000 deductible to $1,200 a month, $6,000 deductible. I went 10 years without insurance, and I was penalized each year because I could no longer afford insurance. And in 2016, every single Democrat candidate up on that debate stage raised their hand and said they would give illegals free health care. While me, as a 2-time bone cancer survivor, lost mine. Didn't have insurance for 10 years, and I was supposed to get CT scans, chest x-rays, and all these other tests done every 6 months to ensure my cancer didn't come back. And they wanted to give illegals free health care. That was the exact moment I was no longer a Democrat.
When the US slaps a 25% tariff on imported steel or electronic from China, that cost doesn't disappear. Importers pass it on to wholesalers, who pass it on to retailers, who pass it on to the end consumer. So while the intention was to hurt China, the reality is American family are the ones footing the bills. For many MAGA supporters, this has created a deep sense of disillusionment. They believed in the message. They voted in good faith. They wanted a better life, but now they are struggling to fill their gas tanks, buy groceries, or keep their small businesses afloat, all while feeling abandoned by the same leaders they trusted. It's not just about economics, it's about betrayal. People didn't vote for higher prices. They didn't vote to become collateral damage in a trade war. They voted for hope, for change, for strength. Some are now admitting, I didn't realize how much this would cost me. Others are saying, I thought we were punishing China, not ourselves. And some are simply saying, where are the jobs we were promised?
I voted for Trump and now I regret my vote. Let me explain. Please don't explain. Please, I beg, do not explain. Keep it to yourself. I don't care. I don't care. Don't explain. Because I voted the way I did because I cared about other women, other black women, other women in general. I cared about other immigrants. I care about low-income people. I cared about all of that because I was voting not only in the way that benefited me, but the way that benefited other people too. You voted based on the way that benefited you. You know what I mean? So we are not the same because you don't have to explain yourself to me because at the end of the day, if you didn't regret your vote, if somehow you were not at a deficit, you wouldn't regret your vote. I can tell you right now, if it came out that Kamala Harris had done anything illegal, anything wrong, as much as this man did, I would regret my vote easily, not because of any of her policies or anything, but simply because I don't want to vote for a horrible, shitty person. But you had no problem doing that, knowing all the facts. You voted the way you voted because you thought it would benefit you, but the moment it's not benefiting you, you regret your vote. I don't care. You keep that shit to yourself, and please do not tell me about it. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. There are other people that will literally go through hell. Immigrants that will get sent home based on their horrible situations. There are women that will die. There are children that will continue to get hurt because of the way you voted. I don't care. Because the way you vote, it's already happened. I don't need an excuse. I don't need a sorry. I don't need to know why you regretted it. You made the decision that you made. Now it's time for you to stick beside them. All I do hope, though, is I hope the worst of the worst happened to you. Because at the end of the day, friend, you hoped the worst of the worst could happen to somebody else. And you voted the way that you voted, knowing that it would have. So now it is your turn, and I hope your karma kick your butt. But other than that, I don't give a shit. I don't care anything else. I don't give a shit.
There are still people who believe that, you know what, we are not shaking. We are still MAGAs. No matter how much or how cost the economy becomes, we will survive. Trump knows what he's doing. He understands the economy better. He is good for the economy. So we remain MAGAs, okay? While you have people who say, you know what, we tired of being MAGAs. We are not doing this anymore. This is not what we voted for. In other words, they are leaving MAGA. Well, guys, we have come to the end of today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. How much is the price of eggs in your location? Has anything changed? And please let me know, how does this tariff affect you in your location? Drop your thoughts with me in the comment section. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see. Thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. See you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.